In 2015, Konami released Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist digitally on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, which I spent a lot of hours playing after I purchased it last year. It's nice, but to me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games have always been more fun to play handheld, which is how I played them, starting with Dark Duel Stories on the Game Boy Color, followed by a slew of Game Boy Advance games that I spent a lot of time playing in high school. For years now, I've wanted a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Game on a handheld, and, well, the Vita never got one. The DS ones are pretty cool. I've got this one, and it's pretty fun. I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just got like this 3D top-down RPG thing going on, and that's fun, but this one's like strangely hard for me. Do I just suck? Probably, but it's really hard for some reason. Then there are the PSP games, which are supposed to be some of the better games available, but they're like really expensive. Too expensive for me. But now here we are, and we have a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Game available on the Switch in physical form for me to hold, and it comes with actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, not like the fake ones I bought on Wish. Now, just a disclaimer moving forward, I'm somebody who hasn't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Since like 2002 to 2005, back when the game was pretty new, so if I sound inexperienced to current Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's because I am. Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution is a port of the original Legacy of the Duelist, exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. I guess you could look at it as more of a definitive edition, adding all of the DLC from the original, as well as a new, updated card roster for 2019, and the Link monster mechanic, hence the name Link Evolution. As for gameplay, I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! You play a series of card-based duels against AI or online opponents using monster cards to lower each other's life points. The player to reduce their opponent's life points to 0 first wins, and is greeted by the same victory music they've been using since Millennium Duels on the Xbox 360. You can play through a series of story campaigns that recreate famous duels from the anime, from the entirety of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime to all the bad ones that followed. This dude's name is Bronk. Like, what the heck? I mean, to be fair, he does look like a Bronk. Oh, what the heck is that? What even was Zexal, man? It's so weird. Isn't this the one where even longtime fans of the anime were like, yeah, alright, I think I'm good. And let's not forget the classic Yugi vs. Joey duel during the Duelist Kingdom finals. One of the greatest duels in the entire anime, solely because it gave us this banger. We are closer than brothers. Now we have to fight each other. I love how in the campaigns you just never know who you're gonna duel thanks to the characters being hidden by these silhouettes. Such a mystery. Who the heck is that? I bet it's Mokuba.
Big brother!
For real though, what the heck even are some of these shapes? Like, what is this? What is that? Why does it have wings? What I find ironic is, despite this emphasis on Link monsters, the anime where the whole Link thing comes from, Vrains, or V-Rains, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, actually has very little presence in the game, while all of the other anime series featured in this game have fairly fleshed out campaigns with quite a few duels, as well as reverse duels where you can play as the opposite character. Vrains has only like 3 duels to play, one of which is the tutorial for Link summoning. Each campaign also has between 5 to 6 booster packs that you can unlock as you play through the stories, each represented by a character from that anime, with cards that are influenced by cards they would use in the show. But Vrains only has 1, so if you're looking to buy this in hopes that one of the 2 main dudes on the cover of the game is actually gonna have a big presence, he doesn't, like at all. I mean, I guess I can see why they would port over a 4-year-old game instead of making a new one. They have been pretty busy, canceling PT, making Metal Gear Survive. Oh, and don't forget HD ports of 20-plus-year-old Castlevania games. Whew, really broke a sweat on that one. The campaigns are pretty cool, at least. They're all presented in visual novel form as this robot called Infinite, I just realized, is what those letters and numbers mean. He even has an infinity symbol on his neck. Anyway, he presents the story as though we're kind of looking through a window back in time, rewatching all these scenes from the anime. It's actually pretty neat for an old school Yu-Gi-Oh fan in the fact that they really do pay homage to a lot of the duels from the anime. Anyone remember Panic? I do think it's a nice touch that they took lines almost exactly from the anime. Here's a scene from the game with audio from the anime that I'm adding in.
Hey, Tristan, Yugi here's teaching me how to play Duel Monsters.
Dueling monsters?
Duel Monsters, you Nimrod. A card that powerful totally wipes me out.
Whoa, you stink at this game, Joey.
You did fine, Joey.
I just have better cards.
Oh, snap, suck it, Joey. In each campaign mission, you can use a story deck or one that you make, which is limited at first until you get enough cards to make a decent deck of your own. The game also has pre-built structure decks that you can use at first instead of the story decks, which might even be better because in my duel against Pegasus, I lost pretty bad with the story deck, but with the game's pre-built pendulum deck, I won in like 5 turns. But to be fair, I did get a really crappy hand to start with. Just, oof. And a lot of times the AI will just get a better hand than you have. Like the time I dueled Seeker from Battle City and he summoned Exodia on his first turn. Yeah, cool. And it's also really cool how the AI opponents who rely on specific field spell cards will draw that card or terraforming, which lets them pull that card from the deck, on their first turn every duel. Huh. Luckily, this is kind of balanced out by the fact that the AI is just real dumb sometimes. Like how Bandit Keith here attributed 2 monsters, including one with 2600 attack, to summon a normal monster with 2000 attack. I mean, it helped me, so I guess I can't complain. I haven't gotten enough cards yet to build a lot of fun decks, but I have built a Skull Servants deck, which is always fun, and a new Dark Magician deck that's pretty cool. It uses Dark Magician Girl, as well as all these other Magician Girls named after fruit. I named the deck Magical Girls, and I love it. So as I mentioned, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're familiar with the game, you know what to expect. If you're not, this could be a fun investment, because to this day, I still find Yu-Gi-Oh! To be a ton of fun to play, and it's gonna be cheaper than trying to play the game for real. It's kind of tricky reviewing a video game based on an actual game because some of the negatives I have really have to do with the flaws of the card game itself, but this is still a video game that uses these rules as its mechanics, so I'll have to judge it as such. In Yu-Gi-Oh! There are mechanics called spell speed and chaining. To sum it up, there are some cards that can be played in response to other cards being played as a way of countering them, such as canceling out your opponent's attacks or spell cards, etc. Some of these cards, though, have a spell speed that allows them to be played basically at any time. They don't need any prior effect to be activated for you to trigger them. Take Mystical Space Typhoon, for example, a staple card that even old Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are familiar with. It's a quick play spell card that allows you to destroy any single trap or spell card on the field, meaning instead of just playing it during the usual phases of each turn where you normally play spell cards, you can play them at any time as long as either player has a spell or trap card on the field. If you set it face down, you can even activate it on your opponent's turn. Are you following me so far? If you play Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what I'm talking about, otherwise I'm just trying to explain it to you. This is fun while playing the traditional tabletop version of the game, and it does add a lot of twists and turns and layers of strategy to the game that wouldn't be there without this. But this has led to years and years of the same annoying thing in every Yu-Gi-Oh! Video game since quick effects were introduced early on in the game's existence, all the way back to the Game Boy Advance. Some of you know what I'm talking about. For the rest of you, just look at this. If it's not clear, what the game is doing is asking you if you want to activate one of your quick effect cards just multiple times for every single move throughout this turn. You drew a card, do you want to activate anything? It's the next phase, do you want to activate anything? It's the next phase, do you want to activate anything? You played a card, do you want to activate? No! Just no. If you're someone like me who played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day but hasn't in a long time, or you just don't know all the cards for any other reason, this game can be pretty overwhelming. Like, how long do some of these card effects need to be? Look at this freaking book on this card. If this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation in either player's turn, you can activate this effect once per battle. Your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of the turn. Also send one Deskbot monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Deskbot 004. And if you do, this card gains attack and defense equal to the sent monster's level times 500 during damage calculation only. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon to... Stop it! I'm already exhausted from reading this. I really am happy for Yu-Gi-Oh! And the fact that it's thrived on and continued to have a community for almost 20 years in the States now, and as such, as the game has evolved, they obviously have to alter rules and make new cards and new archetypes and new everything to keep the game fresh, otherwise they're just gonna keep printing cards that do the same thing. As such, the game has gotten really complex in a fun way, but also just kind of too complex in some ways. This has to be really intimidating for new players or returning players like myself, because it's just like, it is a lot to wrap your head around. If you don't know the game and you just saw those rules on that card, you're probably like, what? And I don't blame you. Now, with all the effects of various cards, monster archetypes, and all the special types of monsters like fusion and synchro monsters, stuff will just kind of start to happen and you don't know why. Next thing you know, all your monsters are dead and you have no idea what just happened. I end up having to stop and look through my opponent's graveyard and read all the effects on the card so I can grasp why exactly I'm suddenly losing. This is at least somewhat calmed down with the new extra monster zone introduced with the addition of link monsters. Used to be, you could fusion summon, synchro summon, or Xyz summon from your extra deck as much as possible in your turn. This was even present in the previous version of this game released before. Now, you can only summon one of these extra monsters at a time unless you summon a link monster, in which case you can summon extra deck monsters to any zone that your link monsters point to. As someone who was a fan of spamming Xyz monsters in the original version of this game, I'm a little disappointed at it being nerfed, but it does bring some nice balance to the game. But there's still pendulum summoning, which lets you summon a bunch of monsters in one turn if you have the right hand. If you're well versed with the game to this day, you probably won't have an issue, but you're probably also playing against people on a fan-made sim instead of this. One new addition is the new cutscenes that take place when you summon specific powerful flagship monsters. There was something similar in the original version, but this time they'll jump scare the crap out of you every time until you know exactly which cards to expect it from. The thing is, they do get kind of annoying. I mean, some of them only take a couple seconds, some of them take a couple more, but it gets a little old, and as far as I can find, there was no way to disable these. I'll tell you what though, I'll take this over the animations from Forgotten Memories any day. There are also battle packs in which you can choose between sealed and draft play and use the cards from these packs to duel against AI or online. Oh yeah, there is online play, by the way. It's not great, but it exists. It's definitely noticeably slower than just playing offline, but it's there. I only played one round to check it out for this video, and I got matched up with a dude who had played 180 hours already. How? The game's been out a week as of recording this match. Go outside, bro. Do something. That can't be healthy. So, is this game worth $40? I mean, that's up to you. It is double the price of the original, so if you're okay with an outdated version of the game that you can't play on the go, then pay $20 for the original and have fun. Otherwise, if you want something more current with an updated card roster and all the DLC included, as well as the option of something physical with actual cards included, and you want the option of something portable so you can play while you poop, yeah, $40 ain't bad.